Oh, welcome to Match Report. We're going to have a look back at, pardon the voice again, you know what I'm like after a match. Well, when I've been there, obviously, I don't shout at the TV screen when I can't get to these games. Match Report, of course, Brighton versus Manchester City on the 23rd of October 2021 at 5:30 p.m. kickoff at the Amex. Yeah, my first trip to the Amex yesterday. Just a couple of mentions. Thanks to Stephen Keogh, who got me on a coach from the Albion in Middleton, if you know that place. A good set of girls and lads on there, so a good day was had. Or I sort of kept quiet, you know me. I say my shouting for the game, but there you go. Special, it was fantastic. My thanks to Stephen anyway and everybody on that coach. It was a very enjoyable day, and a special mention to young Steve Turney, young 40-ish Steve Turney, who sat next to me and suffered me for the 260 miles down there and 260 miles back. And of course, a little photo there. I was quite impressed with his hairstyle, actually. Not seen it from the back, so there you go. I did him a favour. He wasn't so much impressed with his Bluetooth earphones, though. He had a bit of trouble with them, I noticed later on. But there you go. Cheers, Steve. Anyway, Steve, mate. I'll give him a follow, guys, at MCFC_Steve. Give him a follow. Good lad. Made it even more enjoyable as well. Right, on to the game. Thanks, everybody in Middleton. I think a few from Wigan as well. We just stopped at Wigan to drop a few off. So interesting mix of people on that coach. Right, the City lineup. Yeah, I got 9 right, which is fair enough. Obviously, I did stick Mahrez in there, but I was hoping Jesus would play, and he actually did, so that wasn't too bad. And of course, unusually, we'll talk. I don't know. We'll talk about KDB probably, but I dropped KDB perhaps for Gundogan. I'm not too sure. Or rested, who knows? But obviously, a bit more on that. The team: Edison, Walker, Diaz, Laporte, Cancelo, Roderick, Gundogan, Bernardo, Foden, Grealish, and Jesus. Brighton, yeah, I got 10 right. I'm quite happy with that. I got 10 right. That wasn't too bad, was it? Just March I didn't have. I didn't have March in. So it's Sanchez, Burn, Dunk, March, Veltman, Cucurella. I was quite impressed with him. I quite like Cucurella. Sort of City's Pep sort of left back, wasn't he? Was he a left back? Sort of moving up down that wing. I don't know if he was a wing half, I'm not too sure, but I quite liked him anyway. Not so much his haircut, but you know, it's probably jealousy. Moda, Lallana, Grob, Morpay, and Trossard. And of course, who's in charge? Referee Kevin Friend. And before I forget, I mean, Brighton fans, if you foul, you get fouls against you. I don't know what all the whinging was about. I mean, we know what I did say. Brighton added a lot of physicality to the game, and obviously we saw that in spades in the match yesterday. So there you go. Stop whinging, guys. If you foul, you get pulled up for it. So that's all there is to it. Kevin Friend was the ref. His linos, Adrian Holmes and Simon Long. Fourth official, Simon Hooper. VAR, Paul Tierney. He was quite busy. Assistant VAR, Konstantin Zadikas. Generally, yeah, before I forget, yeah, as I say, I don't rate referees now. I've given up on it, but he was all right for us. I can't complain, and I'm saying I think he was reasonably fair. There's a couple of odd decisions, as there always is, but yeah, Brighton will have a moan, of course. They will, and the fans will. That's what they do. We know that. But yeah, he was okay. He was okay. But again, we sort of at least got a bit of the benefit, which we perhaps did against Burnley as well, but perhaps a bit more against Burnley in the sort of where we perhaps didn't deserve it. But I think we deserved most of what we got yesterday. Yeah, match report. I was quite low down. If you'd seen the pictures there, I was a couple of rows up, so very hard to get a feel for the game. I watched a couple of highlights when I got home early hours of this morning, obviously, but obviously it's hard to sort of gauge. I have a good idea, but obviously you just have to bear with me for my match report and player ratings today, because it's a little bit harder, isn't it, when you don't get the best view, of course. Definitely a tale of two halves. 3 goals for City in the first half that not clinical. Well, I mean, little odd at times, weren't they? A bit of a mishmash of goals, but they were all legitimate goals. Nothing wrong with them, no matter what anyone says from down on the south coast. And of course, I thought we created a lot of chances, and it must have been in that first half, because I didn't see that many in the second half, and up our end, I think towards the end of the game, perhaps, or a couple of early doors in the second half. So I think most of them must have been in that first half. Obviously, other players came close to score, adding to the 3 goals. Foden, of course, could have added goals. Grealish and Jesus all tested the Brighton defence, but there you go. Brighton looked okay going forward, but I think Ederson, funny game from Ederson. We'll talk about him in the player ratings, but he's obviously there was 1 or 2 chances, sort of, but I say a couple of dubious things. But the goals, let's talk about the goals. 13 minutes was, of course, Gundogan bundled the ball home after a mistake from keeper Sanchez. He wasn't fouled. He just, some refs may have given it, but at the end of the day, no, he's a big lad, and I think it was, there's no foul at all on him. He just fumbled it. Jesus can only stand his ground. He can't, he was actually moving away, so it wasn't as though he blocked the keeper. So it's his own fault. He lost it after colliding. And that wonderful Bernardo overhead was obviously bundled in, as I said, by Gundogan. So that was 1-0, 13 minutes. 28 minutes, of course, Foden slides in his first goal, doesn't it? Looked, not too sure, looked 50-50 with the defender to me about it going through. But it was a good break, of course, as Brighton lost the ball in midfield. And Silva, superb ball through to Grealish, who obviously slid it across. That's typical good quality goal, slid it across. And obviously, as we said, Foden slid it in with the help of the big guy, the defender at the back. Only 3 minutes to 8, just 3 minutes later, Foden's second. City's third. A Jesus shot from good Grealish work. He sort of deflected. I think he was very hard to tell, wasn't it? But he got a touch. And people are picking on Sanchez a little bit, but I think he had to react quite late, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt with that one. But he may have done better, but I think they're being just a little bit harsh, because that deflection from, although it wasn't obvious, certainly had an effect, and he sort of managed just to palm it in the goal. In the second half, I'm not sure if Brighton upped their game or City went to sleep, to be honest with you. I think it was a bit of both. We sort of weren't, apart from perhaps the first 5 minutes or so, we weren't able to get hold of the ball or put more than 3 or 4 passes together. We were terrible that second half. We just, it wasn't really game management. We just were giving up the ball every time. I don't think it was great. We only gained any control, really, after Brighton scored their goal in the obviously late on the last 10 minutes. But I thought we only sort of got a bit of our control back after that happened, which was unusual, because you'd think Brighton would have pressed, but that's sort of livened us up a little bit. But it's a funny second half, really funny. Brighton, did very well. I mean, Ederson made some saves, but as I said, not as confidently as I'd like to see. He made them, but there you go. And we'll talk about one of the penalty in a moment. I mean, there were 2 goals, of course, and we'll talk about that penalty now. A lifeline. Come rushing out into it. It's a bit. I think that just summed up Ederson's day, really. He wasn't quite on it yesterday, and a thoroughly deserved penalty, of course. Obviously, did he not get back? I can't understand why he didn't get booked for it. I know he got booked for wasting time 2 minutes later, but I can't understand why he wasn't booked for that. He couldn't be sent off because it was a penalty, but a bit odd. I don't know. I mean, I think he did try and get the ball, but he was very clumsy. He was Ederson, wasn't he? That's what we expect from Ederson sometimes in games. But a good penalty. Again, he got his hand to it. Could have done better, Ederson. I'm not too sure. It was a strong penalty, but perhaps he could have done better once he got a hand to it. Oh, there you go. But the barrage didn't really come, did it? And it was obviously sealed up my end where I was. Right, I think I sort of briefly saw myself on the TV highlights, but in the distance, you can't see my bald head. You probably wouldn't miss it, but Mahrez slammed it home from close range, of course, from a pass from Foden, didn't he? And that sort of. Well, it didn't settle the nerves with 5, obviously into the last minute of injury time at 3-1. You're not gonna let it slip, even City, are you? So there you go. Key stats: 10 shots for Brighton, 5 on target. That's better for them, actually. They usually average 20-30% on target. So a 50% on target rate is very, very good for Brighton. 23 shots, 13 on target for City. I was that surprised by that 23. I thought it'd be less than 20. I don't know where they got the 23 from. As I said, if I watch the whole match again, I'll probably see it. But it surprised me that. 47% for Brighton possession. So obviously we have 53. Pass accuracy, very low for City, which I expected, because as I said, we were giving the ball away for fun in that second half. 84% accuracy for Brighton, 86% for City. All right, there we go. Right, on to the ratings. As I said, please, I've sort of had a look at what Stuart said and sort of tried to look at what I thought from my little angle of the game. So I've given everyone a starting point for City today, 6.5, because I thought they played brilliantly the first half, but then knocked it down a little bit in the second half. So I would have usually started with a 7, but because of that second half performance, I've only started with a 6.5. Right, I'll read Stuart's out and then I'll chip in with my little feelings. Stuart said, Edison, after an idle first half hour, he had plenty of saves to make, but was rash for the penalties. Give him a 7. I've only given him a 6. I say more than luck than judgment, I think, on some of the saves. So I think it's one of his sort of dodgiest displays for a while, to be honest with you. So I've only given him a 6. I'll give him less than the standard for me. Kyle Walker got a verbal volley, says Stuart, from Diaz for one slap piece of defending, but it was generally sound. Yeah, he's given him a 7. I saw 2 or 3 things Kyle wasn't as steady on, and he wasn't much use going forward. So I just, again, I've only given him a 6. As I said, please accept that this is my little view from where I was, which isn't always to the best position. I was quite low down, so it's great for looking at the goal, obviously behind the goal, but not so good for looking at what's going on all over the pitch. But yeah, I thought Marc wasn't very good yesterday. I give him a 6. Diaz has a healthy knack, says Stuart, being in the right place, and his defending was uncompromising. So he's given him a 7. I'll give him a 7. Yeah, I didn't see anything, no messing about from Ruben yesterday. I'm Eric Laporte, the first passer in so many of City's best moves, said Stuart, and his defending was good enough too. So he's given him a 7.5. I did see, again, I saw some plenty of misplaced passes from players, but especially from Laporte. Obviously, when I saw him defending at our end, obviously he wasn't. But I will give him the standard. I'm going to 6.5. I'm going to have a total downer on him. But again, I do find a few errors from Laporte, which is not unusual. So I'll give him a 6.5. João Cancelo was linked up with Grealish as a growing feature of this team, says Stuart. A superb attacking out. Let's give it a 7. Yeah, I can't disagree with that. Yeah, I thought Grealish and Cancelo linked up really well and played really well. And they look really good moving forward. And I'm not going to criticise Cancelo's defending. It doesn't really come into it that much these days, does it? Because he doesn't spend much time defending. So, yeah, I'll give him a 7. Rodri, Stuart says, one sloppy pass in the first half brought groans, but he bossed the game for long spells. It did bring a groan from me, I'll tell you. A powerful pivot. Yeah, so Stuart's given him a 7. I'll give him the standard. I'll give him a 6.5. I thought it was a little bit harder for him yesterday. I did say we'd see what Rodri's made of against a good physical Brighton team. And he did okay. He wasn't fantastic, but as I said, he made some unforced errors, but he wasn't alone there. So, yeah, I'll give him a 6.5. I'll give him a steady average one. Ilkay Gundogan, Stuart said, popped up like a seasoned goal poacher for the first goal and was a slick midfield operator. Give him a 7. Yeah, I'm going to give him a 7 for the goal. Yeah, I noticed him a bit. I thought he was a little bit anonymous, to be honest with you, but obviously first full game back for a while, isn't it? So I'll give him that, but I will give him a 7. I will give him a little bit extra to the standard. So I'll agree with Stuart. Bernardo Silva, Stuart said, on the spot to set up the first goal and was buzzing, as he always is. Relentless presser with a ton of qualities. Give him an 8. I can't give him any less than 8. I thought it was brilliant. That one where he left the 2 Brighton players on the bums was quite funny. But 8 out of 10. Pretty normal for our little maestro at the moment, isn't it? But long may it continue. Jesus, everywhere on the pitch, forced the first goal, so Stuart assisted the third, did some vital defending. So Stuart's given him an 8. Yeah, I'll give him a 7.5. I thought it was usual nuisance. There's a couple of things he could have done a lot better. But I like Jesus. I admit I do like Jesus, and when he doesn't have the greatest game, he is a pain in the bum for the opposition. So I can live with that. That'll do for me. So yeah, I'll give him a 7.5. Stuart, give him 8. Phil Foden just seems to do everything to perfection. He does, says Stuart. Even if his goals were hardly classics, another fine display. No, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're not classics. It's just sort of that's what we want. That's what you get from a striker, when they're not always, can it his calf and go in, or his bum, or his side, or his head, or back of his head, or whatever. It doesn't matter, does it? But Stuart, give him an 8. I can't disagree with that as well. I'm going to give him the same as I give Bernardo, my 2 best players on the day, to be honest with you. Confident, always involved, and not everything works. Of course it didn't, but it doesn't matter, does it? He keeps trying and keeps going and head up and gets on to the next one. And 2 goals, you can't argue with that. All right, not the greatest of goals, but you can't argue with that. Jack Grealish played a role in 2 of the goals, but his best work came from making spaces for others. Just give him a 7. I can't disagree with that. Yeah, I think it was better than average. I thought he was probably best he's played for about 3 games. I don't think he's played that well the last couple of games, but yeah, he's back to what he's doing in earlier games, and he caused a lot of problems for Brighton. I was quite happy with Grealish, as I have been so far this season. Fernandinho for Gundo and no time to mark. He came on 73 minutes. KDB for Grealish on 76, of course. No time to mark that either. Man of the match, there you go. Thanks to Shikara SG Designs there. He's put that out as one of his designs. Fancy features on my One City show a lot if you watch that. Fantastic design, superb stuff. So there you go. Mr. Foden, of course, my City man of the match, just from Bernardo. I mean, it was getting a bit Bernardo. I'm not sure if I said, I think Bernardo's had 4 out of 5 of my last ones, but I thought I'd just give it Foden. Although I couldn't really separate them. But I'm not going to go for a joint one when I get told off for doing things like that. So I'll just give it Foden. So overall at Brighton now, we played 12, won 6, drawn 2 and lost 4. So we've improved that. We've scored 24 and we've let in 17. So we've improved that as well. Yeah, let's have a little quick word on Brighton going forward. Yeah, I mean, they couldn't live with City's pace on the attack. The defence, I'm not going to have a down on the defence. I thought the goalkeeper, wasn't great. Certainly that first goal. I'm not going to blame him particularly for all 3 goals like some people have, but I thought they did all right. I mean, I say they couldn't quite cope with City in that sort of form, and we got bodies forward, a little bit of luck, of course, a little bit of where the ball fell for us and stuff like that, which is what you need when you're in the box and you're on attack. But obviously what I saw in the second half, that was a bit more like the Brighton I expected. I was a bit apprehensive going into this game because they have been playing well, and all they need to do is start converting some of the chances, and they will stay up in that top 4, 6, 8, whatever it's going to be. And obviously they did do better yesterday, but they still missed certain wayward shots, etc., etc. But a good team. Will they stay in 4th? I doubt it very much. Will they stay top 6? Potential. They start putting this completion rate a bit higher, start putting the chances away a little bit better. I mean, I said before this game, they've created 36 chances in the last 2 games they've played. That's a hell of a lot of chances. And they just haven't really done very, I think certainly one was a goalless draw. I can't remember what the other one was. The other one might have been a goalless draw, but they created 36 chances. So if they can put some of those chances away, fine. And that was the problem last season as well. They didn't really have a striker who was consistent. So we can't lend them one, can we? But there you go. But I think top 8. Definitely, but as I said, if they can carry on and Potter's doing okay, all right, bit physical. I mentioned the physicality, a bit physical. They want to cut that out because they're going to lose games because the referee's just going to give the foul. They're going to give fouls. They're not going to get away with it unless they're playing in Europe, and might get away with it there, but they won't get away with it here. They'll just it'll just because they're big lads as well. So they'll have to cut that out as well. But definitely top 8. But as I said, if they can get that strike rate up, possibly top 6. City, Jekyll and Hyde. I mean, we wouldn't say we controlled that second half, did we? It was a bit backs to the wall and a bit panicky at times, to be honest with you. Said not helped by Mr. Edison's sort of jittery performance, I thought, overall. I just thought it was one of his probably least impressive displays for a while. Even though he did make 2 or 3 good saves, he just didn't inspire the defence, and I think that the defence reacted accordingly, to be honest with you. And we sort of went down again at 3-0. We've done this before in games, but in a way that we've still controlled the game. And I was surprised we ended up with more possession overall, actually, although we'd had quite a lot in the first half, obviously. But that second half, obviously, I think Brighton must have mastered that in the second half anyway. But we could have easily been punished early. We've been punished a bit earlier than 81st minute when they got that penalty. I think it would have been a very interesting time, but fortunately we held out. But again, I would say more by luck than judgment, to be honest with you. And Pep wasn't willing to change anything. You know what Pep's like. You're 3-0 up, why would you change? But, he brought Ferner on, of course, but that was sort of, we'd been getting a little bit jumpy before that, to be honest with you. So he could have brought him on a bit early if he wanted, but it's not Pep style, is it? It's not City style. But all credit to Brighton, they come out and took advantage, and they've got some good players on the pitch as well. But we did look anything like champions most of that second half, to be honest with you. We were very, very rusty at the back. Play like that against big, play like that at Old Trafford in a couple of weeks' time. Play like that against PSG and stuff at the back, and was struggling. But I think it was just that particular situation, that particular day. We sort of switched off a little bit at being 3-0 up, and we didn't quite do what we normally do and control the game. And Brighton came at us and pressed us higher, and sort of played a lot of the football we play from the back and stuff. They did very, very well. Played it very well, actually. They probably matched us yesterday. I didn't see many mistakes when they were playing out from the back. But credit to Brighton for ruffling our feathers anyway. So there you go. Let me know what you thought of the game anyway, and say apologies for my voice, and thanks to the guys from Middleton and the Stevens again. That's much appreciated. But join me this week. There's a West Ham history boys out there now looking back at a game back in November 1984, a Milk Cup game. Yeah, I think I said Coca-Cola Cup in the thing, but I think I altered it and put a little edit on it. But my apologies. It's sometimes I get my words and my mind doesn't quite work with my lips and stuff like that. But so have a look at that History Boys thing. I enjoyed doing that, as I always do. Please give that a look. And the odds show should be out with you very soon. I've done the scripts. I will be putting that out a day after this goes out, so check out the odds show as well, and little ideas. And my first chance you get to look at my starting 11 as well for this West Ham game, so I've checked that out if you can as well, please. I don't condone gambling in any way, so when the fun stops and all that. And of course the full match preview as well, so please join me for that. I love your input, any input, and thanks for your support out there, and a couple of guys who let on to me yesterday at Brighton, so thanks very much for everything. Whatever you want to do the rest of the day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More important, let's all look after each other till we meet here again on the Citizen channel. Or perhaps please have a look at my film and TV channel if you get a chance. I try and inform and entertain on there as well. Give us your thumbs up. Stick me down on your notifications so you know I'm out there. And all I ever ask till we meet again is please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.